Hello, hello, hello. Welcome into Tommy Bites Homestead. Surprise, surprise, surprise. As Gomer Powell used to say, some of y'all probably don't know nothing about that. But anyway, we are here and we are seeing a lot of things that's happening in the news. Some of that is distractions. Y'all don't get distracted. Keep your blinders on. Don't get distracted by what is happening. I have a few news stories I want to touch on. I don't want to be here all day with it because your girl need a nap. But I want to bring you some news that you can use, hopefully, and hopefully it will benefit and help you. If not, you can share it out with somebody that maybe it will help. But don't forget, they're trying to distract you from all the craziness that is going on, okay? First story up is the Kroger's that is shutting down. Hey, y'all, welcome in. Hey, Yolanda. So this person wrote that they returned to their hometown to find out that one of their favorite childhood stores is in their final days. Kroger's Veterans Memorial Store will close November 8th. What's the date? 4 days away. Kroger's is closing. This is in Houston. If you are in Houston, they say, I grew up in Northwest Houston, and before there was a HEB, which I wish we had one here because I hear so many good things about it, but we don't have one here in this parts of North Carolina, okay? So they said that before the HEB became the powerhouse store that it is right now, the Kroger's, especially the Veterans Memorial location, on Monday morning, they stopped by to pick up some groceries for a relative who lives nearby. I guess that relative didn't let them know what was going on, but they saw a shocking sign on the doors and the windows saying that they will be closed by the end of the week. So this is what they saw. Inside the store already looked partially cleared out, they said, thanks to the deep discounts. Basically, everything must go was the mentality, and they even scored something for $10 that normally would sell for $20. Unfortunately, we have made the difficult decision to close the Veterans Memorial Houston, Texas store, is what the spokesperson said. And they gave the whole spew that they always give, especially because they just closed some stores back in September. So this follows other Kroger closures in Houston, including the Katy Freeway in North Gessner location back in September. The company used the same explanation at the same time, emphasizing efficiency and long-term business health. Now, we all know that Kroger's and Albertsons they are in the middle of a lawsuit right now. And so Kroger's is going to be shutting stuff down because they're not doing that merger anymore. So while we are leaving these locations, they say we will offer each impacted associate the opportunity to transfer to a new location. These closures are part of a larger company-wide decision to run more efficiently and ensure the long-term health of their business. The news follows a trio of mishaps for Kroger's that began last year, including the strike by the unionized workers. First, federal and state courts blocked the $24 billion merger with Idaho-based grocery chain Albertson back in 2024. Second, Kroger CEO resigned following an investigation into his own personal conduct. They never said what that was, though. So this closure for this person, they said, it's more than just a store closing down. It's a childhood memory. And that's going to be for a lot of people in a lot of different areas, not just this particular store. We're going to see a lot more stores close down, stores that we maybe grew up with. I experienced that feeling when years and years ago, well, before, it was around COVID time or right before. And it was a store called Bilo in South Carolina. I love Bilo because Bilo always had buy one, get one free. It's like this time you could really stock up your home. And I was stocking up my home on them buy one, get one frees. And it was already a reasonable price. It was a nice store to shop in. But for some reason, they shut down. And I just don't like the stores that replace them. Now, I have shopped at that store, Lowe's, here in North Carolina. Which is what I think a Food Line replaced a Food Line replaced that Bilo. But I don't really care for Food Line. I will go in there because they do have sales in the Food Line. But one thing I don't like to buy out of Food Line, no shade to them, is the meat. The meat just never really looked good to me, in my opinion. So next on our list of things to be looking at, Abram says, did you hear that he decided not to give any SNAP benefits until after the government opens back up? Well, I haven't heard that, but I do have some information on SNAP. I am getting to that in a few minutes. So what they were saying is, well, no, this is something totally different. Y'all don't want to know what this is about. Go ahead and give it to you. So SNAP officials issue urgent warning to all grocery stores. They're saying no special discounts. Some retailers can get waiver to offer incentives to SNAP shoppers, but they're saying don't do that. Officials have been warning, reminding retailers that they cannot give special discounts to SNAP recipients. The warning comes as the government shutdown drags on, leaving supplemental assistance program SNAP recipients still without full benefits in November. The U.S. USDA previously said that there would be no benefits going out in November due to the government shutdown that began on October 1st. However, the courts ordered on Monday the federal government to tap into contingency funds to send out payments to roughly 42 million people who receive SNAP benefits. On November 3rd, the government announced its decision to send out partial payments, giving recipients half of their full benefits for November. Also in Virginia alone is the only state that said that they're going to give out assistance weekly, but they didn't say how much. So the government was given a deadline of no later than November 5th to issue the partial payments. So they have until the 5th, which is tomorrow, to do the partial payments. Funds will cover 50% of eligible households. Current allotments, the Justice Department said, which will still leave many Americans tight and in a financial, in a hardship. However, grocery stores that accept the SNAP benefits are not allowed to offer discounts to recipients despite them not receiving their full benefits. A photo of the USDA's reminder to retailers about offering special discounts has been circulating online, telling stores that they must comply with the SNAP equal treatment rule. You must offer eligible foods at the same prices and on the same terms and conditions to SNAP EBT customers as you do to your other customers who do not receive SNAP benefits. So some stores were saying that they were going to be trying to give a discount to SNAP people, but the law say you can't do that. Everybody got to get their food at the same price. That is not fair. Okay, so I ain't against that, but they say you cannot treat SNAP EBT customers differently than any other customer. Offering discounts or services only to SNAP paying customers is a SNAP violation unless you have a SNAP equal treatment waiver, meaning, okay, because SNAP is going through what they're going through, I'm going to lower prices for the SNAP customers, but because of that, I'm also going to lower prices for everybody all around. So unless they're doing that, they can't do any discounts to SNAP recipients. The rule can also be found on the USDA's website. So don't believe me, go to the website. The only difference between transactions for SNAP customers and other customers is that sales tax is not charged on eligible foods bought through SNAP benefits. I wish there wasn't no sales tax on food, period, for everybody. But anywho, stores are allowed to apply for a waiver that will allow them to implement incentive programs so long as they meet certain requirements. These incentives can be used to encourage SNAP recipients to purchase healthier foods. While there are over 254,000 authorized retailers with SNAP, roughly 730 retailers would be covered under 15 different incentive waivers. Most of the places that offer incentives are either farmers markets or are part of the federally funded grant program. And if you did not know, you can go to the farmers market and use your SNAP benefits. If y'all did not know, y'all can go to a store that sells plants that, like fruit trees and things like that, or seeds that you can plant your own garden, because you need to be growing your own food and not relying on them to, because they're going to take your stuff whenever they want to take your stuff. So you can use your SNAP benefits to buy fruit trees. Okay, that's how I got my fruit trees back in 2020 when they were giving people SNAP benefits who didn't you know, who had lost their jobs, and I had lost my job working in childcare because they was like, everything closed down. You can't come back here. So I applied and they gave me 1 month worth, and I took that 1 month worth and I went and I got me some fruit trees. I got me some seeds, and I still have those fruit trees to this day. So, you know, you can keep on feeding yourself. Use what you can from it and get yourself up off of it. Okay. Anyway, Caroline Levitt, and this is Yahoo News, clarifies Trump's snap post, because a lot of people are confusing it, like the Washington Post was saying in theirs. Will comply with court orders to provide benefits. So he's not saying he's not going to do it. And I'm covering this because someone in the comments was asking me, had I heard about it? And I hadn't, because I was in Bible study. Okay. I can't be pouring into y'all and giving y'all the news and all this other stuff and not get poured into. I have to replenish myself, or I'm gonna lose my mind up in this crazy place. Okay, so what's going on? The senior White House correspondent for CBS News Press, White House Press Secretary Caroline Levitt, on Tuesday to clarify President Donald Trump's post earlier in the day, vowing to withhold SNAP benefits until the government is reopened. So the senior White House correspondent, I think it's Weijia Zhang or something like that, Zhang asked, there's some confusion about SNAP benefits because the president just posted that they will only be given out when the radical left Democrats open the government and not before. But just yesterday, the administration said it will comply with the court order to expend the full amount of SNAP contingency funds by the end of business day on yesterday. So did the administration distribute that money or defy the court order? No, the administration is fully complying. This is Caroline Levitt response. She says, no, the administration is fully complying with the court order. I just spoke to the president about it. The recipients of these SNAP benefits need to understand it's going to take some time to receive this money because the Democrats have forced the administration into a very untenable position. We are digging into a contingency fund that is supposed to be for emergencies, catastrophes, or for war. And the president does not want to have to tap into this fund in the future. And that's what he was referring to in his Truth Social post. So the Department of Agriculture, as per latest SNAP payment in the judge's order, put out guidance to states today on how to get that money to recipients of SNAP. But it's going to take some time, she said. The best way to get the full amount of the SNAP benefits to those beneficiaries is for the Democrats to reopen the government. So to anyone who is a SNAP beneficiary at home who needs that assistance, and the president was just saying this for the people who are truly needy, who need food, who need this assistance from the United States government. Check the words, y'all. Check the words. Democrats are holding it up and making it difficult for the administration to get those payments out the door. So if you are at home and you want your SNAP benefits, call the Democrats to tell them to reopen the government to preserve that contingency fund for the future if this shutdown lingers on. Look, the president does not want to continue to dip into a contingency fund that doesn't even have enough money, by the way, to fund the full program. It takes $9 billion to get the full scale of the benefits out the door. The contingency fund only has about $5 billion in it. So again, Democrats need to reopen the government. We can get these benefits out the door for people who truly need them. So I read into a lot of things, and maybe I shouldn't. Whatever you snapping, start preparing with that before the next crisis hit and they pull it from you again. Before the government shut down again, whenever they open up, whenever they disagree on we're going to shut the government down. Don't find yourself in the same position that you are in right now. So apparently they are going to get the SNAP, even though Trump doesn't want to tap into that fund. They're going to tap into it. Now, you ain't going to get the full SNAP, but you're going to get something. And I guess something is better than nothing. So take that something and make the most out of that something, and hopefully not find yourself back in that situation. I know that's hard because jobs are hard to find right now. I just told you about a Kroger closing. Other places are shutting down. Amazon is replacing thousands of workers with AI. Even over in the UK, they have they're changing out their trucks for Amazon. I mean, it's just a lot going on that's against you. So let's not add more to it. Is it a weird for Wednesdays? I'm going to do it now. What is this? Oh, yeah, that's it right there. Let me pause it. Let me pause it. I have a video. But y'all know that last monkey was out there with the alleged what was it, COVID, herpes, and I can't remember what else the apes had, but it was out there. Where's my StreamYard? Okay, I gotta find the story. So they have a video. So a Mississippi bomb. Let me share. Mississippi homeowner says, I did what any mother would do after spotting an escaped monkey, and especially after what they said the monkeys had, even though they said the truck driver told them. The police are saying that the truck driver told them that these monkeys were a danger to the community and they had all these diseases. And then the university and them said that those monkeys did not have all those diseases, but I don't know. They're still dangerous. So a Mississippi mother said that she shot and killed one of the monkeys that escaped after a truck overturned last week, fearing it posed a threat to her children and others in the neighborhood. Jessica Bond Ferguson told the Associated Press that she was in her bed Sunday when her 16-year-old son alerted her to a monkey running through their yard near Heidelberg, Mississippi. Bond Ferguson said she grabbed her cell phone and her firearm before stepping outside and spotting the animal about 60 feet away. Vaughn Ferguson, 35 years old, professional chef, says she opened fire out of concern for her children's safety. I did what any mother would have done to protect their child or children. Who she has 5 children ranging from 4 to 16. I shot at it and it stood there, and I shot again, and he backed up. And then he fell. Okay, so that's the end of that story. What was the other story I had? I can't even remember. Forgive me. I don't know what he's about to say. We're just trying to catch up on the news that we can use. TikTok. You don't stop. Okay. If it'll play.
Honestly, can I put it in plain words for you? And you're a smart guy, so you'll understand, but a lot of people don't. What's happening in the shutdown, though? Honestly, can I put it in plain words for you? And you're a smart guy, so you'll understand, but a lot of people don't. The Democrats are getting killed on the shutdown because we're closing up programs that are Democrat programs that we were opposed to. So we're being able, and they're never going to come back in many cases. So we're being able to do things that we were unable to do before. So we're closing up programs that are Democrat programs that we wanted to close up or that we never wanted to happen, and now we're closing them up. And we're not going to let them come back. The Democrats are getting killed.
So asking something, I don't know if he's talking about SNAP. He could be talking about some of those other programs that they have shut down and took money from. If they were to say, come January 1st, there's going to be no more SNAP. That's it. We're done. We're not helping anybody anymore, at least while this administration's in here. What would you do? How would you survive? Have you made a plan? Have you thought that far ahead could this end up being something that turns out to be permanent? Or if they say, well, we're just going to cut everybody's SNAP in half and we're going to leave it right there in half. You're not going to be getting all that money you were getting. How would you survive? The wealthy don't care because they feel like they're good, and they are. So we're going to have to start caring more about ourselves and caring more about how we move forward.
And we're going to have a list of them on Friday, closing up some of the most egregious, socialist, semi-communist, probably not full communist, we're saving that for New York, but semi-communist programs, and we're closing them up. We're not closing up Republican programs because we think they work. So the Democrats are getting killed, but they're not telling the people about that. I say it, nobody, well, I haven't said it probably as bluntly as I just said it, but so we are closing up Democrat programs that we think that we disagree with, and they're never going to open again. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
An update on what's going on with SNAP for the month of November. So on October 31st, a federal judge issued an emergency order telling the USDA that they must resume SNAP benefits, which was set to expire on November 1st. She ordered them to provide details to the court no later than Monday, November 3rd, on how they plan to fund this program and keep it going during the shutdown. So whether they plan on issuing people's deposits in full or just giving them a partial amount, they are required to tell the judge what they're going to do by Monday, November 3rd. So the USDA has an emergency fund that has about $6 billion in it that she is telling them to use to fund the SNAP program for the month of November. This fund is set aside specifically for emergencies, and for whatever reason, the government doesn't feel that 42 million people not getting their SNAP benefits is an emergency with this emergency fund. So it sounds like the program is going to be funded soon, but they don't have a date because this is still very much an ongoing process.
Breaking news, and that is President Trump making a statement on social media right here, talking about SNAP. This just posted to Truth Social right here. SNAP benefits, which increased by billions and billions of dollars, manyfold during crooked Joe Biden's disastrous term in office due to the fact that they were haphazardly handed to anyone for the asking as opposed to those in need, which is the purpose of SNAP, will be given only when the radical left Democrats open up government, which they can easily do, and not before. Thank you for your attention on this matter. Signed, President Donald J. Trump.
SNAP, survive now and pray. That's right. That's the new acronym for SNAP today, November 4th, Tuesday.
I love that. Survive now and pray. Pray, plan, and prep.
And what's coming out now is Trump is saying that they are not going to pay out the SNAP benefits until the Democrats open up the government. So on top of that, the thing that I've been kind of wondering the most about is what's going to come from all this exposure to the SNAP system. It's like all of a sudden the SNAP system was put under the spotlight. And what we saw was a bunch of social media stuff where people were basically threatening to steal groceries, walk out of the stores without paying, and all kinds of fun stuff. So, but this is also exposing a level of corruption and fraud and misuse and people selling their SNAP benefits, people who are just
because some people are genuinely concerned and upset because they really need that SNAP, and they're working and they need that SNAP. But then you have some people that are upset because, like, I've seen video. I don't know if it's AI or not, but I've seen video, which is like, yeah, I sell some of my stamps, you know. So it's different forms of outrage, and there's a lot of fraud in there, and that's why I made the statement. What if they decided, hey, look, we see all these videos out here because people willing to post their crimes that they're about to commit or already committed on the internet for views. We see all of this happening, and we're going to have to reorganize this particular program if it's going to remain a program, or it's going to be one of them programs that we get rid of because they look at it as a Democrat program, which there are a lot of people who voted for him who are on SNAP benefits. Let's keep it real, okay? This is not a red or a blue thing. This is a need thing. And people do need SNAP, but it does need monitoring, because who is doing the monitoring? I have shown y'all stories where people who actually worked for SNAP were stealing from SNAP, going shopping with the monies and things of that nature from SNAP, who worked there, who gave someone they know, which was their daughter, access to funds for SNAP that should have gone to someone in need. So they're looking at everything with a magnifying glass, as he said, a spotlight on SNAP program right now. This program is under the spotlight, and I do feel like there are going to be a lot of major changes to it come next year. So if you are receiving SNAP right now, and if you end up with SNAP in your account, I urge you to start making meal plans, setting things aside from it. Use your SNAP before they take them from you, and don't give them back or take them from you and give you less or whatever. Start stocking up your home with shelf-stable food, with food you can throw in the freezer, with food that you can cook and can, or whatever you can do. I encourage you to think ahead. Don't think in the moment of now, in the storms that you are in right now. Think of the tailwind that's coming behind it, because something's coming behind it. They're not just on this program as hard as they're on this program if they're not about to do something major to that program. And he's already warning about taking away certain programs. He just didn't say the exact ones, although he did say on Friday he's going to give a list. Now, even if SNAP is one of the programs, I don't think in the moment he's going to say it right now, even though he's the person that will just tell you what he thinks, and they don't care if you like it or not. Something is going to change with this program. So if you're receiving it, be thankful, be grateful, use it for what it is right now, because you may be losing it. I'm just saying. I'm gonna let him finish it out, and then I'm gonna end the video.
It's basically benefiting off of the system that could rightfully work and do other things. So, and NPR just released a new article called "As SNAP Funding Lapsed, a Top Official Called the Program Corrupt." That's right. The comments came as a federal courts ordered the Trump administration to resume food assistance payments, and it was coming from the Agricultural Secretary, Brooke Rollins, and she described SNAP at a recent press conference as so bloated, so broken, so dysfunctional, so corrupt that it is astonishing when you dig in. So that's what they're doing right now. They're digging in. Now that we've seen the backlash on TikTok, especially, and social media, and the response of the public, they are now forced to like really analyze what's going on with SNAP. Wait a second, why is this program funding 42 million Americans? How many families? I've seen this TikTok video of a guy who did the math on a Nigerian family that was living here under a polygamy-based relationship status, who had multiple wives, and their intention was to have multiple kids, to each kid and each wife get SNAP benefits, and they're living in these mansions of houses with multiple wives and like 20 or 30 kids in this house being paid for by the United States government. Isn't that fun? Like there's a math just keeps on mathing with this stuff. So my point is that I feel like, yeah, there's definitely a lot of fraud, waste, and abuse. A lot of foreigners are coming in, getting assistance that even real people, veterans themselves, can't get. And I think this whole system is going to come under a microscope, and they're going to unleash some AI into it, possibly even put Doge on this, because Doge just still exists, and they have all the AI tools in the world to analyze. And there's also some changes in TikTok around August, September, if you all don't remember. A lot of the stuff about the algorithms and the who controls the data and all that stuff. So to think that you're not being analyzed here by AI and algorithms, and if you're over here promoting that you're ripping off the Snap system, you highlighted yourself.
How, I hate to say it, but how idiotic, how dumb can you be to get on and say, yeah, I get Snap and I have this, that, and the third, knowing that you can't have none of that when you own it. You are on supposed to be a low income to no income, but there's so many people taking advantage of it. And if you think they're going to keep letting you take advantage of it, they are not.
And Monday is that, yeah, they're going to release the emergency funds, which is going to deplete any kind of backup funding that we have for any kind of disasters coming up. So they're going to release this money, and it's going to cover half of the SNAP payments. But in order to release the money and put it into the system, all states need to recode all SNAP accounts for the reduced amounts before they release the money. Because if they release the money and the system starts paying out, only the first recipients before that state's money is used is going to be paid out. Then everybody else after that gets nothing. So they have to recode the system, and that's going to take weeks, if not months to do that. That's it.
Do you understand what he's saying right now? They're saying it's going to take some time, but what they're not saying is what he's saying is going to take months to recode the system in order for people to not get the full amount of what they're already getting. So while, yes, you're going to get some SNAP, there's only so much money in that contingency fund so that everybody can get money. Guess what? Now I got to code this for millions of people, 42 million people. I have to code this. Each state has to code it so that everybody in their state that's already receiving can still receive, even though you're not receiving what you used to receive. And I can about guarantee you it's still going to be some upset, angry, ungrateful people out here saying, how dare they only give me this? How dare they only give me this? I saw a clip last night of Ice Cube, and I said, I got to find the right place to put this. And this video is going to be it. I'm going to let him finish, and then I'm going to find that Ice Cube video. It's just a short clip, and it's so fitting for what's going on, because it's going to be some people that's really angry that, yeah, they got some, but this ain't what I used to get. How much you want to bet? And I'm not a betting person.
If the government doesn't open up. Now, if the government opens up and they say, okay, we're going to go ahead and release the normal funding, who knows? Everything is just going to get glossed over. But I still think that there's going to be a lingering effect and a deep analysis on SNAP benefits, EBT, where it's going, how it's being used, and there's going to be a whole lot of new restrictions coming in to reduce the budget, because that's what this government's all about, is reducing the amount of benefits that the U.S. taxpayers and non-taxpayers and benefits and recipients get.
So yeah, y'all can definitely let me know what y'all think about it. I'm gonna see if I can find it. I forgot what I looked at it on.
Let's start simple. What happened to you yesterday? Well, I was sleeping for the most part, and my son heard the dogs barking because I had told him the night before, Saturday night, that I was hearing noises in the bushes. And I told him that it was strange noises. And I said, y'all just don't go outside. I said, if you do, let me know. So I guess he was alert and he was aware about the noises. So when he heard the dogs barking, he looked out the window and he called me and said, Mom, the dog's outside barking at something. So I said, well, see what it is. You know, I was still in bed and I was getting out the bed trying to get my clothes. So he said, "Ma, it look like a monkey." So I said, well, to go, I said, record it. I said, make sure, because, you know, so we could have proof of it, that it was in our yard. Because I didn't know if it was just running past or, you know, leaving or whatever. So he said, I can't get a clear shot. He said, but mine, it's the monkey. So I said, oh snap, let me get my phone and let me get my gun, let me call the police and stuff. So when I come out, I got in my truck and I backed up down this road and I stopped about right there. And he was on top of that bin right there, and he left from that bin and went and jumped on the railing of that porch. And I sat in my truck, and when I got out, I said, okay, you know, do I sit here and wait for it to run away, run to somebody else's yard? You know, I have a 3-year-old, and, you know, what if it come back out, you know, hide in the woods and come back out and try to attack her later on? And, you know, she can't defend herself from a wild monkey, and all it takes is a little scratch for her to, you know, develop something. And we don't know what these monkeys have, because one minute they have this, and then the next minute Tulane is saying they don't have anything to avoid lawsuits and stuff. So, you know, I'm not going to take my chances with my baby versus infected animal. So I did what any mother would do, and I got out and I shot at the monkey, and he had a look like something was wrong with him. You know, it looked like something was wrong. And I love animals, and I have dogs, I have a cat, I have a rabbit, you know, and she has had a turtle. We love animals, so it's like not like I'm an animal killer, you know. I didn't want to just kill a thing, but I mean, it's my baby versus the animal, a dangerous animal at that, you know.
No, I understand. So when you call 911 or you call wildlife and forestry?
I called the game warden, and I called the 911.
Okay, so how did the call go with the game warden?
Well, they were just saying that they was gonna send somebody out, you know, asking for the address, and that was basically it.
So you killed it before they got here?
Right.
Okay. So when they got here, did they do any cleaning up, or they just scooped it up?
Nothing. And then he picked it up off the porch and drug it through here and put it on the back of his pickup truck. You know, I would have thought he would have put it in a bag, you know, once he picked it up off the porch and put it in the bag. So now I have to disinfect and clean off everything through here, because, you know, you can't see where the blood trail is at. So, and then you would thought that they would have came through and searched the woods in here and see if the other one is around. The other one could have been sitting in the woods watching everything go down. You know, so
I'm sorry.
So basically there is another one out there, and they lied in that first interview, and like she said, they're trying to cover themselves.
look, the other one might be mad at me, right? You know?
Yes.
Oh my God, she's so cute. I love it. I love it. I love it. So I'm trying to find this. I'm trying to find, I think I found it. Do not complain. And I feel like it's going to be a lot of complaining with the SNAP, because they're not going to be getting, well, I was getting 3,000. I was getting 1,400. I was getting this, that, and the third. And now you're only getting half, or maybe even a third of that. I don't even think they're going to give them half of what they were getting. We have to, in this society, have gratitude, no matter how big or small something is that somebody is helping you with. No one owes us anything. If someone come in and they help me with something, I'm so thankful. I'm so grateful. I'm so, God, thank you, Jesus. And I pray it back over them tenfold, 100-fold. That's not what we have with a lot of people. So when I saw this, I was like, yeah, this is it right here.
When you get down and you get on your grind, do not complain about what you didn't get from the work you didn't put in.
Can you repeat that one more time?
Do not complain about what you didn't get because of the work you didn't put in. The reward comes when you get down.
We are all waking up every single day, literally doing the best we can. And God, I don't care what you say.
And I'm sorry. I'm just, I'm in Bible study all day today, and y'all gonna get some of this. Y'all gonna get some of this good Jesus today, okay? And I hope it blesses your life. I hope it blesses you.
God loves me from where I am.
I'm sorry for the tough words.
You may have figured some shit out faster than me, quicker than me, before me. Shut up. I'm doing the best I can with every 24 hours I get. I don't want what you have. I don't want your wife. I don't want your career. I don't want your songs. I don't want nothing that's got to do with nothing that you have. I just want what God has in mind for me. And if you are successful, if you are accomplished, and you are someone that have achieved certain things that I haven't gotten to yet, you just showing me what's possible. But I still don't want it because you have it. Thank you for showing me what's possible. Because once you plant the seed, then at some point, I'm going to get to my own mansion. I'm going to get to my own marriage. I'm going to get to my own magical marriage. I don't want to just get married no more. I want to get married and do it for the rest of my life, till the last breath. And I want to feel the butterflies in my stomach the whole time. I want a wife that will know exactly what to say when I'm broken and I'm confused and I'm fucked up and I'm on the brink of destruction, and I woke up to we're about to lose it all. And yet the covering of my wife and what she's saying and what she's praying over me gives me a level of reassurance that we're going to be okay when the whole world is crumbling in on me. Some of these want to get married. You don't even know what to say when I'm fucked up. So you just hear. This dress ain't gonna make me feel better. Your cleavage ain't gonna get me through this shit that I'm dealing with right now. You're all.
So I know that don't have nothing to do with nothing that I was talking about, but what it does have to do with is keeping your blinders on, paying attention to what's in front of you, what God has for you. Stop worrying about what this person have over here and what this person have over there, and pay attention to what you have right there in front of you, showing gratitude for the small things that you have, because eventually God is going to bless you with what you're supposed to have. But as long as you looking like this, you're losing focus on him. And see, that's what I was studying in my Bible study in Matthew's, when Jesus was walking on the water and the disciples was in the boat, and they called out and said, "Lord, is that you?" And Jesus replied, "It's me." Never mind you, they just got through feeding 15,000 people and healing people. Keep your blinders on. Don't fall for the distractions. I think I started the video with that. Don't fall for the distractions, because there are many out here that's going to trip us up. Too many of us spend our time worshiping man, kissing the ring for the riches of this world, when you can't take none of it with you. These are lessons that I'm learning. So I don't mean to fall off of the conversation of giving y'all the news that you can use, but in order for me to remain sane, in order for me to be able to come to you and give you the truth of what's going on out here, whether you like it or not. I don't make up the news. I'm going to show you where I got it from. If you want to go from there and look for it, you can. Because it's not for me to preach, teach, or anything on here, but I'm sharing my journey as I'm in the journey. And it's some things I can't hold back. And I see so much hate in this world that is ridiculous. When I look at certain people, it's a discernment. You can feel it. You can feel it through the screen. You can see it. And sometimes I see it in the comments where, well, you voted for this and you this, that, and the third. Get out of the world and realize everything that's happening in this world is affecting you because you live in it. There are some things that we can control. There are some things we cannot control. And I have always been a person that want to try to control every single thing. And what did that give me? Nothing but worry. And when you have that worry, you don't have that much faith. And I can say that. My faith wasn't as strong as it is becoming, as it's going to be. Control what you can control, and that is what is in your home. But when you start giving away control to the GOV, then what? They get to decide when your children eat. They get to decide where you live. They get to decide all these things that you should be deciding for yourself. And it's going to be some people that don't like what I'm saying, but I'm saying what I'm saying out of love. The system is a system not for a lifetime. But some people have been on that system for a lifetime. Some people are going to die on that system. And if push comes to shove, and if what I'm thinking is going to happen come 2026, and like that dude was saying also, SNAP program is under a microscope. Please hear me. The laid back and wait for someone to put something on your card to feed your children. So your children are now relying on someone else for life. I don't want my children relying on that. When I got it, when I was in my 20s, early 20s, I made sure to do the best I could in that moment to get myself off of it. I worked, I went to school, and the minute I got a good job at the hospital in the medical field, I got off. Now, things happen. People lose jobs, people get sick, all this stuff, and you may end up needing it again. But it is not for a long time. Use it as a stepping stone. Because right now, it's just a stone that's pressing and weighing on your back. And they're not going to let you get but so much as long as you're on it. Unless you lying to get it. And they're going to weed those people out too come 2026. That's what this is all about. And I'm just keeping it real. I'm sorry if it hurt, but sometimes the truth hurt. And sometimes we got to face that truth. Sometimes we got to walk in that truth and deal with that pain. Well, how did I get myself here? What did I go through? What, how can I get off of this? How can I, whatever. But you have to figure it out. You just have to figure it out, because You cannot allow somebody to have that much control over your life. They control enough as is when you're not on it. Y'all be blessed. Y'all stay safe. This video done went off rail. I done went off rail. I apologize for going off rail, but I'm just, I care so much, especially for young mothers, because I was a young mother, single mom, and that it's not easy to go to school, to find a babysitter. When I took my final exams, I didn't have a babysitter. My mom had to go to work. I had to talk, but I was going to take it. I was going to take it because I knew I wanted to do better. And at that time, I had 2 kids, little kids, in the stroller, walked all the way to the college. It was a technical college, walked all the way to that technical college, took the exam. I had already talked to the professor and the director and let them know, hey, and I was doing so well in class on exams and stuff like that, that they were like, no, you can come on in and you can have your kids here and you can take this test. And I did, and I passed it. You know what I'm saying? You cannot allow your circumstance to define you, because it will. If you just sit there, it will. And I hear people say it's not easy. I don't have a sitter. I don't have that. I don't have whatever. I know you don't want to leave your kids with just anybody nowadays, but you gotta do something for your kids, if not for yourself. They don't deserve for people they don't know to determine whether or not they can eat. They don't. And what they can eat, because you know you can only get so many things on Snap now, right? I agree. Didn't have to be here. I agree. Stock up on some beans and some rice. Get these people some tips, y'all. Get stocked up. You don't know how to cook some beans and rice. You got a whole internet that have people on here cooking beans and rice. It is so simple. Beans and rice. I agree with that too, Ayan. I hope I said your name right. It's a mindset. And sometimes we have to break generational curses, because it's sometimes it's a curse, because you have generations that have been on Snap, generations that have been in Section 8. When we were in Section 8, when I was a little girl, it was people there that was great grandmamas. And then they rest of their family was out there too. I wasn't used to that because my mom had just divorced my dad. We had moved from Sumter to Columbia. And first we lived with my aunt, and then my mom got Section 8, and then we lived in Section 8 for a little while. And then we moved out of Section 8. It wasn't for us, but it was a fun time back then. But that's not the life that you want for your children. I know sometimes that's all we can do is all we can do. Hey, Wins, how are you? And we have to do what we have to do until we can do better. But the goal is to do better, to work hard and do better. And sometimes you don't know. We judge and we say, well, we shouldn't listen to this person or that person. Sometimes, you know, we don't get to decide who we listen to when it comes to hearing a good word, like a real word, you know. Everybody's not pristine. Hey, Salty Dog, how are you? I'm trying. I'm trying. I'm trying. I'm trying to make some sense. I don't know how we even got to the rest of this video here, but I don't know. I'm just speaking. Yeah, Keystone canned meat, stock up. If you don't know how to can your own meat or anything, then buy the canned goods. They have all different kinds of meat now, roast, chicken, pork. I mean, they got all kinds of canned meat out there. Broomstick says if you get Medicare, check with your plan. Some give an allotment for food or for products, like United Health gives me an extra $180 a month. I had United Health. I don't like United Health. That's good that they did that with you. Medical wise, I don't like them. They don't want to prove nothing. So I had to find more insurance. Thank you, Anita Woods. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it. Hey, Delois. Yeah, you better detach now. Be detached now. Start detaching slowly. And I think like there's a lot of people I know that do need it, and I want them to have it because they need it. But there's a lot of people that don't need it, and it should be going to, like that guy was saying, veterans who can't even get help. Heck, we got military that shouldn't even need to have assistance like food stamps, but they need it. That means they ain't getting paid nothing, but they out here serving. Thank you for your service. I don't know who Oliver is, but Oliver needs Jesus because he obviously ain't listened to nothing I said. Oliver, you can go somewhere else. I don't need you here. I don't need you here. Matter of fact, let me get rid of you. You gonna call me a narcissist because I am telling it like a TI is, like my mama would say? Oh, she's probably a Donald Trump supporter. I'm a supporter of God. See, that's what I was talking about earlier. That's what ticks me off with people. Too many people praising man out here. Oliver probably one of them. Projecting what he really is. Aren't you, Oliver? Oh, I'm sorry. You can't respond back unless you create another channel. Moving on. Anita, don't even respond to that idiot. Hey, Brenda, how are you? Exactly, Salty Dog. That sums it up right there. If you rely on the government to eat, you also subject for them to starve you. Oh, Lord, my phone's ringing. Hold on, y'all. I have to get poured into because it just be some ignorant people. Some ignorant people. I'm gonna get off before any more Crazy people come on here. I appreciate those of you who stuck around. I got a little off track. You think? And but I do appreciate y'all. Please share this video out, hit that like button. Thank you for coming in. I see you up in here. Hey Mimi, thank you so much for being here. Connie, Carolyn, Broomstick. And listen, I don't have to agree with everybody on here. All I ask, and you don't have to agree with me, all I ask is that we be respectful of each other. I don't disrespect anybody in here, but I will be darn sure I'm not going to allow you to disrespect me on my own channel. Like that's just crazy. Ain't no view worth that. Not one. I will ban you from it. Hey, pre-retirement, how are you? That's just how I feel about it. None of us know what other people are going through. That is so true. And just like they're saying, I don't know what somebody else going through, and I sound like a narcissist. Y'all don't know what I'm going through. You don't know what it took for me to get on here. You don't know on any day that I get on here, whether I'm in pain from my lupus, or whether I'm going through stuff in my marriage, or whether I'm going through stuff with my kids, or whether I'm, dealing with a mother with dementia. You don't know what has me up or what has me down, because I get on here to provide information. I get on here to jaw jack with y'all. I get on here to share my journey and my growth in Christ. But don't think because I'm trying to grow in Christ and walk in faith and all of that stuff that I don't have things that take place in my life, because I am a human being. And at the end of the day, people need to realize that people on YouTube, content creators, we are human beings. We are living. We are breathing. Then we are going through things from time to time. It is not always up and it's not always down. So none of us has walked a mile in any of the other person's shoes. I haven't walked in yours and you haven't walked in mine, but I'm sharing some of my experience in here. And then you get retarded, and I hate to say the word retarded, but ignorant people on here, because calling them retarded is a slap in a person's face who is mentally challenged, because these people know better. They just refuse to do better. There's a difference. Yes, it do, Joe. God supplies all your needs. But if you want to sit around and wait for someone else to give you that, then don't complain about it when you don't get it. Because people only give you what they want you to have. My mom told us that at a young age. You will only get what people want you to have. You only know what they want you to know. And if you let them, you'll only be what they want you to be. That's why we have to take back control. We have to. Y'all take care. Y'all stay safe. Remember, I love you, but God loves you more. He created only one you. Be the very best you that you can be. And when you are, go out and spread God's love. I think if more people did that, the world will be a better place. Thank you, Brenda. I appreciate that. That means a lot. We need to figure out what the word Christian is. I know I'm figuring it out. And I'm figuring I was doing a lot of things wrong, thinking I'm a Christian. Y'all have a blessed one. I enjoyed talking to y'all.